heck are Chris and Walnut crane, and why are people obsessed with them?
Okay, so like I found this guy at the Smithsonian who's a zookeeper. He's at the Smithsonian NCBI, like, which is in Front Royal, and it's like they keep like the really endangered critters there and try to get them to breed, and without the watching, prying eyes of the American public. And they had this crane there named Walnut, who reportedly, and I got some evidence, but I'm not allowed to swear like totally, but she reportedly killed 2 of her previous suitors. Murdered them, murder. And it was because, she was my age, by the way. She was like in almost 40 when I wrote the story. And she was still like in reproductive prime, apparently. They needed her to reproduce, but the only way they think to do it was like knock her out, which is like super stressful and doesn't work that well. So the zookeeper named Chris Fro, which is kind of amazing. He watched other mating cranes, and then because he noticed Walnut had taken a liking to him. And Walnut probably had impressed on a human, like, early in her, like, what do you call a baby crane? Earlier in her colthood, they're called colts. And so she thought she was a human, she was into humans, and she was particularly to Chris. Chris was not that into her, like, that's what to say. But he wanted to help preserve her species. So he learned how to do little dances. And he made like a little nest with her, like apparently, and like he'd bring her twigs, and she'd be like, that twig sucks. Like, and like bring a better twig, and bring her a better twig, and she'd be like, okay, that's fine. And then like he basically did animal husbandry. Like he petted her back, like injected the semen from the crane next door. So yeah, so I found out about this guy, by the way, about 3 years before I finally talked the Smithsonian into letting me interview him, watch this whole situation. And it was, oh my God, it was so great. He's like a hero. Walnut died recently, but her memory lives on because I know that there's this woman who's like a legit composer in New York who's writing an opera about Walnut and Chris, and she went and watched them and met them and like interviewed me and seemed like it's going to be really good. So I was going to say it's the next Hamilton, but it is an opera, so it might not be that popular.
And you're writing a piece on cranes to be released in September.
Yeah, cranes. Once you're on the crane beat, you're on it for life. No. And so Steve and I, just for fun, we went and saw 30,000 cranes, just looking at a little spot of river in Nebraska. It's amazing. I've never seen, there's these huge muscular birds. We saw like 3 whooping cranes, which is like 30% of all the available whooping cranes or something. And then later, National Geographic was like, Sadie, write an essay about face blindness. So I was like, okay. So I started out writing an essay that told a funny story about dating, which is a weird choice for National Geographic, like about me dating. And then so I wrote that, and then I was like, why am I writing about me in a bar for National Geographic? And so somehow I worked in the crane stories, and now I get to write off that trip. So yeah, so double win.